This brush here is similar to this, but it's a little bit bigger. This brush can still do what this does, but this cannot do the other stuff that this brush does, if that made sense. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is all about educational beauty. Today's video is all about the top 5 makeup brushes that you need. These are the only 5 makeup brushes I think you need. So this is great if maybe you are a minimalist, or maybe you don't want to confuse yourself with so many brushes and you really just need what you need and that's it. Now, if you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. And I'm over on Instagram, so please do come say hi there too. Now let's jump straight into the video. I genuinely feel like this is going to make your life so much easier when it comes to makeup. These are the top 5 makeup brushes that you need. Now, I'm not going to be doing this as a list from 5 to 1 in terms of like 1 being the best, because honestly, these 5 are brushes that I feel that you could create any kind of look with. These brushes are very important to me, so I will always make sure I have them on me when I'm traveling, because I feel like they're versatile. I feel like there's a lot more that I can do with them, and I do feel like you can create an amazing makeup look with these brushes. So, and this is face and eyes, so this is kind of like everything that you would need. So the first brush that I'm going to show you is my Sigma Beauty F47 multitasker brush. This brush has to be one of the brushes that I didn't even know I needed so badly, because when I started using it, I was like, oh my god, it is insane how this has made my life so much easier, especially when you're in a rush or you don't have much time. This is the brush. Obviously, I'll show you a close-up of the brushes, but this brush in particular is amazing for applying foundation, CC cream, BB cream, and this is what I use for all of those things. Like sometimes I will obviously use a sponge most of the time if I'm doing a full coverage, like kind of medium or full coverage look. But when I don't have time, this is my go-to. This is my brush, and I still do use this when I apply my kind of CC cream. So I use a CC cream a lot. I've been using the CC cream a lot recently, and this is what I use because I don't want to kind of use a sponge for my CC cream, because it's really important to me that I really do get an even finish with it. So that's why I feel that this is a brush that you definitely do need. You can use this for other things, like say if you get a couple of these, like I've got one more as well, so I use one to kind of sometimes apply certain skincare, but you can just stick to one if you want, if you just want to use it for your foundation. But I honestly think this is great. It also is very easy to wash as well, so all these brushes are very easy to wash in general. Like, they're good quality brushes which don't ruin when you've washed them. You know, sometimes the hairs just kind of like go everywhere. It doesn't happen with this. So this is the first brush that I wanted to talk to you about. Genuinely, this is something which I think is going to make your makeup game so much easier. And I do have a discount for Sigma Beauty. It's Nina Ubhi 10, and the link is in the description below. So make sure you do head over and click that, and it's going to take you straight to Sigma Beauty. So you can grab yourself one of these, but don't do that just yet, because there's also another brush from Sigma coming up, and trust me, that is a game changer for your eye makeup. Next up is my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Complexion brush. This is a brush that I think is great because you can actually use both sides. It's a dual-ended brush. So you have one side, it's a flat brush, completely flat, so it's perfect for buffing. And then the other side is more or less the same, but it's slanted and it's a lot smaller. So let me tell you what I use these for. So I use this large section of the brush to buff in my kind of dark contour, my concealer that I apply as my contour, and I just buff that in, and it's the perfect size. Because you know, some buffing brushes tend to be very big. I don't know why. Like, if you look for a buffing brush, it's just overly big. And this is like the perfect size. It's really good. Like, it just fits in perfectly. So that's really good for buffing in liquid concealers or cream products into your skin. It's perfect for that, and it's perfect for that kind of like cheekbone area, and also great for that kind of like jawline area. So the other side of it is what I use when I want to kind of buff in the cream products into my nose area. So say for example, when I'm using a dark concealer to contour my nose, this is perfect. It's the perfect size for your nose. So you can literally just kind of buff it in. I do my little diamond shape and then the sides of the bridge of the nose, and it fits in perfectly. Like, this is really good for that. Now, another thing that I think that that you can also use this brush for is actually blending in eyeshadow onto the eye. So this slanted side of this brush works really well for blending in cream eyeshadows. So it's a really good shape for that kind of like contour of the eye on the lid, and it works really well to kind of buff it out. So I feel like that's also what you can use it for. So that's why I love this, because I feel like there's a lot that you can do with this brush, and generally for buffing, it's amazing. It's an amazing buffing brush. Next up is number 3, which is my Hourglass Veil brush. It's an expensive brush, guys, I'm not gonna lie, but it is so worth it. It's an amazing brush. It honestly, the quality is amazing, and I can't begin to tell you how I use both these sides so much. So you've got a big kind of powder brush, which is great for kind of like dusting away the powder, you know, when you've like kind of like applied your powder, pressed it into the skin, and then you want to dust it away. It's amazing for that because it's a big enough brush for that. And also the other side is amazing for applying bronzer or highlight or blush. So there's so many things you could use this brush for because it's the perfect size. It's a really, really nice kind of dome shape to it. So I feel like the shape is perfect just to fit under the cheekbone area, just in that kind of like little indent here. And then also if you want to take it under the jawline, you're fine. You can take it into like the hairline as well when you want to kind of sculpt there. So I feel like this brush is a very good brush. I used to find it very difficult to find a good brush which is good to kind of sculpt with. This is the only brush that I've probably stuck with the longest, because there were other brushes that I used, like especially from Fenty, but I felt like it was great initially, but then the shape of the brush changed slightly. Whereas this is probably the one that I've used the longest and the shape hasn't changed, and you wash it and it still goes back to its original shape. Whereas the other brush that I used from Fenty, which is a cheek hugging brush, I used to love it initially, but the shape changes each time you wash it, so that doesn't really work for me anymore. So this is perfect for kind of sculpting. This has to be a brush that I feel like I'm asked a lot of questions about. A lot of the time when I've done videos, you'll always see me using these brushes, in fact, and this brush especially, because obviously I'm always going to be doing my base in most of my videos. So this is what a lot of people tend to ask, like, what is that brush? Where is it from? And whoever who follows me on here who has actually purchased this has always come back and commented and said it was expensive, granted, but it is amazing. It's such an amazing brush. So I just want to let you know that it is worth the spend if you have that spend. So don't just go out there and buy it if you're really kind of like cutting it fine. But if you do have that kind of spare cash and you want to invest in a good brush, I would say this is a really good brush. And number 4 is another Sigma Beauty brush. It's my E04 winged liner brush. This brush, I can't even begin to tell you how many I have. I have so many of them lying around because I've just like overstocked myself, because they are such good brushes. So I feel like, because I like to have a few of them so that, you know, like say if I haven't washed them in one, like I don't have to keep washing it straight after each use when I want to use different colors. So I have a few different ones lying around. Now this is an amazing brush for quite a few different things. Now one obviously is wearing eyeliner, like applying eyeliner. So you can use this with a gel. It works amazingly with a gel. But what I also love is that I love creating more of a soft focus finish with my eyeliner, and this is what I use for that. So I use this in powder eyeshadow to create a winged liner, a faded eyeliner look. This is the brush for it. We've all probably got eyeshadows lying around, right? Especially like matte eyeshadows. Even if you want to create a soft focus, a faded eyeliner look, you can very easily do it if you have this brush, because most of us, like I said, we have the eyeshadows lying around. But do you have the right tool? This is a tool which I think gives you that amazing, amazing finish to your eyeliner, because it's slanted, it's flat, the bristles stay in place. So again, don't forget, head over to my link in the description and you can use my code NinaUbhi10 to get yours, because you'll get a discount off of it. Now what I love is the fact that you can hold the highest point of the brush, hold it facing down, and basically tilt it a little bit so that it's just kind of resting on your skin perfectly. And then you just, I think this has actually got some eyeshadow on here, but it literally is just so easy to create a really super faded look. I might as well do it on the other side now. Yeah. There you go. It's just such a good brush. It's so easy to do a winged liner with, because you can also kind of like apply it from the top section. You don't have to only apply it here. This works all the way across the entire lash line. So that's what I love about this. And I also love the fact that you can use this on your brows if you want. So if you want to use this with a kind of like a gel brow product, then you can kind of like flatten it with your finger, and then you can use it for really, really fine feather strokes. So that's another brush which I think personally is a must have in your makeup brush kit. Number 5 5 is my Marc Jacobs The Crease brush. Now this brush has to be probably one of my favorite brushes for the crease area because I feel like it's the perfect shape. It fits in my eye shape really, really well. I like to kind of like apply it right here. I go in with like a really nice kind of warm brown color and I like to just define that area. I might actually do a little bit now so you can see. So I'll just get any kind of like warm eyeshadow. This is the Good Vibes from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe Divine Neutrals palette. And basically I just put a little bit on the tip and literally this is all I do, and this gives me amazing definition that I get so many people asking, what eyeshadow are you wearing? And it's like the smallest amount that I've applied, and I feel like it's not even really about the eyeshadow. I feel like it's about the placement and the brush. Like it's just so easy to use. Like all I have to do is look down into the mirror and it just fits in perfectly into my crease, and that's literally it. Like it's given me that definition there without it looking too over the top. And what I love is that it's small enough that it doesn't drag all the way to the inner corner or have to go all the way to the end. Obviously that has a lot to do with your technique as well, but if your brush ticks every single box, then at least you can focus on your technique as opposed to like using the wrong type of brush. This is soft enough as well, and when you wash it the bristles don't go everywhere. This is an amazing brush. I just assume it's expensive because it's Marc Jacobs, but it might actually not be. It might be, you know, I don't know, something similar to the other brushes. I do feel that this is a brush that I think that you're gonna love because I feel like you can go all over the lid with it. You can just go into the crease. You can create a nice smoky look with it. There's just so much you can do. So these are the brushes that I would kind of like take around with me because they're brushes that I feel work really well. They're versatile. I feel like there's a lot more that I can do with it as opposed to just using it on one part of the face. And I do feel like I can use it in different kind of textures or colors without it kind of compromising whatever else that I use with it. So yeah, I really do hope that that has helped. I hope that that's kind of like shown you what I think are the best 5 brushes, in my opinion, that you should kind of like invest in. So these brushes are brushes that I feel you could create a whole look with. And if you are looking to invest in makeup brushes, these 5 are the ones that I would recommend because I don't think you need to go into all the, you know, complicated stuff. I feel like they're actually very basic brushes that I've shown you, and I feel like these are brushes that are easy to work with. You know, it's not like I've shown you some on-trend brush or anything like that, or weirdly shaped brush. These are very basic brush shapes that honestly do so much more than a lot of the brushes you see nowadays on the market. It is, I feel, down to the way that they are shaped, they're cut, the material, and how the brand has obviously focused on the kind of like the quality of the brush as well. So I really do feel that you are gonna love these brushes. Now I know some of you might be thinking, well, okay, we've seen you use another brush literally all the time. I know which one it is. It's the Real Technique setting brush. It's not in my top 5 because I feel like this brush here is similar to this, but it's a little bit bigger. This brush can still do what this does, but this cannot do the other stuff that this brush does. If that made sense, but hopefully it did. As a bonus, I would say if you're looking for 6 brushes and you can stretch yourself to get an extra brush, then obviously go for this. It's in the description below anyway. Honestly, my 5 brushes I would say are those ones because there's a lot more that you can actually do with it, whereas this I only use on my under eyes. So that's the reason I didn't put that in the top 5, because I really want to give you brushes that I feel like are versatile, you can do a lot more with. I don't want to just give you a brush and there's only one thing you can do with it. I want to give you brushes that I feel that you can do a lot more with so that you feel like you've got a lot more for what you've spent, if you see what I mean, not just what it says that it can do. So again, if you have the extra cash, then go for this brush. It's a cheap brush, but it doesn't do all of the things that the other ones do as well. So I really do hope that that's helped. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this because I really do enjoy it. I feel like it's very informative and it's kind of like answering things that you guys would probably want to ask me if we were face to face without, you know, things that I don't necessarily have to show you, but I can explain to you. So yeah, I really do hope you've enjoyed it, and wherever you are in the world, have an amazing, productive day. I hope this has really helped you out with your makeup brush game. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments box below. As always, if you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care and I'll see you soon.